I'm gonna give you a scenario, and you let me know if this is right or wrong. Okay, if I want to be a millionaire with 7 kids, 5 cars, but I also don't want to go to school to learn how to become a millionaire. Do you think that's fair?
Is that fair?
Yeah. Like, do you think that's justifiable? Like, you're like, if I don't want to work hard to like get a degree and then become like an optometry friggin' surgeon or something, but I want all of these things. Like, I want to be a millionaire. I want to have 5 kids. I want 2 cars, whatever, whatever. But I want to just get the minimal paying job that's the easiest for my mental
Oh,
state.
yeah, like communism type. So it's you.
Sure, maybe. No, I'm just like, ignore the communism, but like, does that logically make sense to you?
No, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. But I'm telling you, I know millions of people, not millions, I know basically tons of people who think like this.
Oh, okay.
Right. No, no,
Right.
like, think about it, right? It's like, but maybe it's just socioeconomic because I went to a socioeconomically poor high school, right? And it's just like all of them wanted like to be millionaires with these cars and all that. And it's just like, but you guys aren't studying.
Yeah,
I
like
was like, I
how
don't care
would you
about
get there?
that.
Yeah, how do you
That's what
get
I'm
there? That
saying,
was the
right?
question. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And then like I wasn't like, I'm gonna be a millionaire, blah blah blah. I was just like, I'm bored with school. I'm gonna do some art, right? And then now like my job is my art, right? But like them, they're just like, and then what do you want to do? I don't know, but I'm skipping class. I'm like, who? If you skip class, you're not going to get a good education. If you don't get a good education, you're not gonna get paid well. If you don't get paid well, how are you gonna become that millionaire with 7 cars and like,
Hmm.
7 kids and like 5 cars? You know what I mean? Like the math isn't mathing.
Yeah.
But the liberal in you would be like, yeah, we should all have equality and like blah blah. But like the conservative in you is like, that math ain't mathing.
Hmm.
And as we get older, like when we're kids, we're like, yeah, that's cool. Like, yeah, you should. We should all become millionaires. We should all have whatever we want. And then like as you get older, you're like, you can't have everything you want.
You're right. Yeah. I don't think that's necessarily like a liberal thing. What is the definition of liberal?
I don't know, but like it's always that kind of
No, I think
that's that
that's like
kind of
far.
person, bro.
Yeah, but like that's like far left wing. Like that's not liberal.
Okay, all right, all right, all right. For example, all right, this is a weed's legal now, so it is what it is. So like, I go into the weed store, and there's a girl with pink and yellow hair, sugar tattoo, great lady, nice lady,
Sure.
sugar tattooed on her neck, says sugar,
Yeah. Yeah.
snake tattoos on her hand, and I'm like, hey, what's the best bud here? Whatever, whatever, right? And I'm like, leaving the store, I'm like, how are you paying your bills?
Hmm.
I don't get it. But it's like, but she's voting liberal. She's not voting conservative.
No, they're voting NDP.
Oh, touche. Okay, but you know what I mean. Like NDP is technically like liberal. Like that's like if you say NDP, you're like a bit
No,
of a
they're not.
liberal.
They're not liberal.
Okay, so what's NDP? Like, give me a breakdown on that.
Liberals more or NDP is more left wing.
Oh,
Like they
more
would be
left wing
they
than
would be
liberal,
UBI. They would be UBI. I don't think liberal is UBI.
brother. And I'm like, okay, but you're like working here at this thing. Like, you got a side hustle, you got another job. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe we should go to school. Maybe we shouldn't have got that neck tattoo that said sugar. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
See what I mean? So it's like you just
Yeah.
want your cake and you want to eat it too. And I'm just like, that is weird.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that is a conservative value. It's like me saying that, she'd be like, damn conservative. I'm like, I'm just saying. Like I have tattoos too, but like I'm not getting them on my neck that says like sugar. That's weird. You
Sure.
know?
Yeah.
And like but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like that kind of mindset is like maybe just immature. He's like, you haven't seen the world, but she looked pretty old though. So I'm like, okay,
Well, yeah.
like
Yeah.
is
That's right. Hmm.
is it, or maybe it's this: the more you pull yourself out of poverty, the more conservative you are,
Sure. Maybe.
right?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's what it is, because like you start to see different sides.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was at this I'll say like an affluent party yesterday, and it's so funny because I knew we were going to that party, so I was like, okay, let me like cosplay a little bit. So I like broke out I haven't put it away yet, but I broke out my like really expensive watch. I broke out like my ring that's not silicone. I put it on, and then we're at the party, and I'm like, oh, none of you guys are wearing that, and I'm like, oh, it's people who are in an old like a poor state that they think that like, oh, we're all just gonna flex at this party,
Yeah.
but then you go to the party and you're like, everyone's wearing an Apple Watch.
Hmm.
It's like they're affluent because they don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I was like, I should have just worn my Garmin because they'd have been like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. Like it's a utility. Their focus is more utilitarian,
Hmm.
whereas like when you're in a lower socioeconomic state, your focus is more of status.
Yeah.
Like, hey, bro, I'm not poor. Like my watch, hey, bro, I'm not poor.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's like they don't even care about that. They just assume like your money's in like the stock market or something. Yeah, you didn't pull it out because blah blah blah,
Right.
right? And it's like, huh? I think we have it all wrong.
Oh yeah.
See what I mean? It's like conservative and like maybe conservative is not a bad thing. Maybe like peacocking is like the stupidest thing to do. But when we were younger, like we always wanted to peacock, you know?
Yeah. You got sold the idea, but that means you don't have money when you spend money on that kind of stuff. When you don't, at that time when you
Right.
don't have the money to do it. Right.
Or they see that and they're like, "Oh, you're making so much money that that's like an excess." You're just like, "Ah, didn't really matter."
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's like who's got that kind basically what I'm saying is like when you walk around and you see people with like a like I was at the gas station, there's this like gangster looking dude with like this crazy Gucci top. Okay? And either you're bad with money or you're a drug dealer. Which one is it?
Hmm.
You know, and they're like, "Oh, that's like stereotypical, whatever, whatever." I'm like, dude, I'm around these affluent people, and nobody's wearing Gucci. They're wearing like there's like more top brands. This is during my phase. I broke it out again because I love this thing. So like this is a Bottega watch, Bottega wallet.
Hmm.
Okay, and the thing about this is it's a pattern. So you don't even know this is expensive unless you know the pattern,
Right.
and
Okay.
that's what they're wearing.
Hmm.
It's like the things that we wear, which is like like Gucci, Louis Vuitton. If it has the label, it's like, oh, you're trying to flex on me.
Yeah. 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 Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like, if you see this, you're like, oh, there's no name. But you see the pattern, you're like, oh, that's a good pattern, bro.
Hmm.
I know what that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we are sold like rappers wearing all that bling and all that like Gucci stuff, and then you see like people at gas station wearing all that stuff. It's like, or maybe it's a knockoff. Who knows? Which I'm totally fine with because like if it's a knockoff, it's like fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
we have our values incorrect. We think in order to become rich, we have to spend money to become rich. And it's like, to become rich, you just need to save your money,
Hmm.
which is what Dave Ramsey said.
Yeah.
So common sense. He's like, people who want money, just save money.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is so true. He's like, don't spend the money if you want the money.
Right. That's very funny. Yeah. Very interesting.
Right? It's like
I
common
mean, very
sense,
simple.
bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's common sense. And he's like, I made million. He's like, I think he said he was a billionaire. Like, and somebody asked him like, "Are you a millionaire, billionaire?" He's like, "I'm probably a billionaire." And then he was saying just like, "Yeah, I made all this money just like selling common sense.
Hmm.
That's it, you know, because we just don't have it in our life."
Yeah.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on that before I jump more into like conspiracy stuff?
No, no, he's good at that. Yeah. Is that you only found him recently?
Yeah, yeah. We just because we were. I don't even know how Tara heard about him, but yeah, we're hitting a different stage in our life. Let's just say. So now we're just like, what do we do with all this? And we're just like, oh, hey, there's a financial guy, and then you listen to him, and you're like, okay, that makes sense. He's like, the fastest way to get rich is to go slow, and like that makes sense. He's like, if you invest a bunch of money into like individual stocks, that's no different than gambling.
Hmm.
Have your S&P 500, like your staples. He's like all, and then I started to get fed my feed as like other wealthy people, and like I forgot who the guy was, but he's so rich. Like we know his name. I think he was like the Wolf of Wall Street. No, he wasn't the Wolf of Wall Street guy. I can't remember who he is, but he's like super rich, and like his videos, like yeah, just invest in the S&P 500. He's like, no financial advisor has been smarter than the S&P 500.
Hmm.
Done. And I was like, oh, that's it? That's the secret? You just stock your wealth in there because you know it's a standard like 11% return. You can play like the other ones, like buying individual stocks, but like if they tank, it's like you just lost your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
that's more
having a
like
staple.
that's more like like your discretionary fund. I would say just
Yeah, exactly.
that's
Have
for
your
your
bases
own
covered.
play. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And that's kind of like I'm delved back into the affluent party because it went into conspiracies, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting right now. So they were like discussing their like stocks, and like what you're saying is like their own play. Like they can invest in individual stocks because to them it's like, well, we already have our bases covered. So now we're just like, what do we do
Hmm.
with the extra? Like, let me. It's basically gambling, is what Ramsey said. So they just like to,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like, you know, um, but so okay. So when we were talking, I was like, oh, this is cool, whatever, whatever. And then somebody brought up like I think because it was like July 4th, so they were talking about like America, and then they brought up the Epstein files, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. What do you guys know about it? I didn't say anything. I was just like listening,
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and all right, these people are affluent. Okay, they knew everything that I thought I was like fringe. I
Hmm.
like there's a time there where I was like, what you and I talk about. It's like, bro, we are like the fringiest of the fringe.
Hmm.
This is not true, bro. People with time on their hands, they're looking into this stuff too. And I
Right.
was like, oh, well, because what else are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
was like, I actually said like, hey, wait, 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 you're so tapped in. How do you know all this? And he's like, yeah, I read a lot of stuff, and like, but they're old, so they're not like watching YouTube videos on it. They're like reading into it, and he
yeah,
knew stuff that I didn't even know. He's just like Ghislaine Maxwell's dad is a Mossad agent, like how he died, and he was asking for all this money. I'm like, bro, I don't even know this stuff, bro.
yeah. Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
then, you know what I mean? And they're just like, yeah, yeah. And then I said, like, do you guys know anything about aliens? And they're like, yeah, I believe they're out there. I'm like, no, no, like in relation to the Epstein stuff, because I think they're all connected. They're like, oh, do tell. And then I was explaining free energy, and I was like, yeah, how like they have the like it's obvious that somebody's cracked free energy. They're just not giving it to the public because they don't want poor people to become rich. Like you just level the playing field because then all the oil people are gone. You know what they said? They're like, yeah, that makes sense because throughout time there's been a small handful of people that have run the world who have lots of money. And I was like, okay, poor people and rich people are like, bro, we're all looking at the same thing. You know what I mean? Like you can have like really poor, weird people who are like on YouTube and like fringe, looking into this stuff, which I thought it was. And then you have like affluent people that are saying the same thing, and you're like, oh, so we all know this? You know what I mean? I was like, I thought like you guys didn't know about it, and that's why like the world isn't changing. And you know what they said to me? They're like, who's gonna do anything about it? And I was like, you're right. We're talking about it right now, but like, what are we gonna do?
Sure. Yeah.
And I was like, you win, you win. I was like, do you think there's gonna be a revolt? They're like, yeah, for sure, but it's not gonna come from us. I was like, you're right, because we are affluent. We're not going to go to the streets and be like, stop the change. We're gonna be like, hey, I'm just gonna invest my money where the money seems to be going.
Yeah.
They're using it as like stock advice. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
oh, it seems like it's going that way. All right, well, I'm just gonna invest here. Like they were talking about like the chip bubble that's happened. That like they're foreseeing the chip bubble.
AI bubble.
AI bubble. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're like they're all selling their Nvidia, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. And he's like, one guy was like, yeah, it traded for $6, and now it's like 600. Well, obviously it's gonna burst,
Hmm.
because like you can't flood the market with people making so much return, so it's gonna go down. So now we're just selling it, and I was like, oh, dude, you guys are tapped in because you're financially like, what do you call it, invested. You have to know about all these crazy things because this is where the world's gonna go, and like,
Yeah. It's more about trying to understand because people react emotionally. So
yeah,
now you have to understand what's happening in the world to know
yeah,
how people are going to react. Yeah.
right, exactly, right. So then you're like deep into like, okay, like it seems like Trump is tied with Israelis, and I was like, bro, what are you saying? Like that's usually a conspiracy theory, but they're like, but yeah, and then now we know to invest in this thing because if this collapses, well, then we can go here. And I
Hmm.
was like, oh, I didn't even think about it from like a financial perspective.
Oh yeah.
I was just thinking of it like we need to revolt. But then they're like, who's gonna revolt? I'm like, I'm not. You're
Hmm.
not. So what do we do with this information?
Yeah.
Right? How crazy is that?
Hmm.
So like, it made me feel better because now I know that I'm not crazy. Just like the things I'm looking into, I'm just like, it's a little weird. But like, it also made me feel sad because it's like, I am like you guys. Like, I'm not gonna do anything about it.
Right.
You just know about it. You're like, yeah, that's pretty messed up.
Hmm.